Separated by just 2 points in mid-table, Heerenveen and Heracles ended the year together, with Cyril Dessers and Orestis Kiomatsolu very nearly combining for the first goal inside 5 minutes. Keeper Warner Hahn made life just difficult enough for Kiomatsolu. The visiting midfielder, Dessers, frustrated with himself that the chance had been passed up. The striker came into the game as the league's joint leading scorer with 11 goals, and his strength and willingness to run at the home defence helped manufacture a chance for Mohamed Osman shortly after. One that the Syrian midfielder really should have taken. No goal this season as yet, but his return to fitness after a long spell out has helped strengthen them for the second half of the campaign. It took the home side longer than expected to fashion an opportunity of their own. Ibrahim Dreshevic's free kick proving the first of them, which keeper Janis Blažević needed 2 goes at saving. The nick of Kiomatsolu on the way through didn't help. Heerenveen had won 4-0 at Heracles on the opening weekend, and once they'd woken up, they began to trouble their opponents in earnest, with winger Chedira Oyuke causing plenty of problems for Robin Proper. This run ending with the pacey Nigerian setting up Mitchell van Bergen, but the save of the game from Blažević kept it at 0-0. Both he and Oyuke had scored in this season's first meeting, as had Dreshevich, but none of them would be able to do so here. Heracles had only twice taken more points than this in a calendar year, but they had to settle for being second best in the first half, as Heerenveen clicked into gear, confident coming forward, having won 3 of the last 4, and comfortably seen off second-tier Roda in the Cup 4 days before. Oyuke, the next to have a go, looking to add to his 6 goals already, his debut campaign after moving from Norwegian side Vålerenga. At this point, Blažević was looking like the main candidate for man of the match. That status was tested when Heerenveen were awarded a penalty shortly before half-time. Dessers inexplicably raising his arm, an action spotted by referee Jochen Kamphaus. Up stepped Hicham Fake, who'd already slotted 2 penalties this season against Vitesse and Groningen, but Blažević came out on top again, the 3rd penalty miss of the season for the hosts. A frustrating end to the half for home coach Johnny Janssen, a let-off for Dessers and his boss Frank Vermut, who again has managed to get Heracles punching above their weight. Janssen's managed to instill a similar team spirit into his side, having struggled last season, but they look much more together this time around. Both remain well placed to finish in the top 7, and both are aiming for an end-of-season Europa League playoff. Heerenveen were the most disappointed not to go in ahead, the final chance of the half falling to Anders Dreyer, the Dane making his first start in the absence of fellow countryman Jens Odegaard. Normally a winger, here he was asked to lead the line, but couldn't add to his maiden Eredivisie goal scored earlier this month at RKC. Both of the game's goals arrived in a 2-minute spell early in the second half. Between them, Dessers and Mauro Jr. have been involved in assisting or scoring 13 of Heracles' last 14 goals. When Dreshevich tried to be too fancy, his side were punished. Kiomatsolu setting the striker away. He was confident enough to go it alone. Sven Botman unsuccessfully trying to stop him. The support arriving on the far post clearly not needed. Goal number 12, which put him out in front on his own in the race for the Golden Boot. 3 more in the Cup too, for a total of 15 in his last 17 games. A great piece of business by Vermut to bring him in from Utrecht. However, Heerenveen produced just the sort of response that their manager would have wanted to pull back level through Joey Verman. The 21-year-old had struck his first for the club in the Cup win over Roda and followed it up with a first Eredivisie goal from Van Bergen's cross, succeeding where Oyuke failed to get a touch. A big moment for the man signed over the summer from 2nd Division Volendam. He has plenty of potential, and now it's up to him to keep on delivering. That is something that Dessers has had no problem with in his best ever scoring season in the top flight. He also felt he should have had a penalty, Hahn going over the top of him to punch the ball clear. The referee felt he'd not committed an offence in getting to the ball first, and the VAR didn't intervene either. But speaking after the game, the head of refereeing, Dick van Egmond, said he would have given a penalty. Heerenveen escaped though, and both had to settle for a point, which leaves them 8th and 9th respectively. Heerenveen a point behind Utrecht, who are 7th. The final chance of the game fell to Fake, who was still hoping to make amends for his earlier miss. Unfortunately for the captain, it fell on his weaker right foot. Victory would have seen them end the year 6th above Vitesse,